Welcome everybody to National Harbormaster Appreciation Day 2021, and thank you all for joining us as presenters. We're really thrilled to have you, and as you know, we celebrate this our third annual celebration of this event, and we are so thrilled to be connected with you guys who are really keeping our harbors safe and accessible and really fun for all of us who enjoy getting out in the water. And you're just really key to the health and safety of our communities. So thank you very much. I want to give a quick introduction. I'm Anastasia. I'm the president of U.S. Harbors. We sponsor National Harbormaster Appreciation Day. We are a site that provides free tides and weather, and marine and coastal weather to boaters around the country. We cover 14 harbors from Maine to Hawaii, Alaska to Florida, and the Great Lakes. And we have a lot of boating information on there, information on fishing and coastal news. And we get about 11 million people around the country using us every year. And we're really thrilled with how tight our community is and really how involved they are in just the well-being of our harbors and waterfronts. And our company is really dedicated to making sure that communities can stay safe, resilient, and sustainable both economically and environmentally, as our coasts are always evolving. So this year's sponsors, I want to say a quick thank you to this year's sponsors. We had Fisheries Supply, which is a great online and physical resource based in Seattle, and Hamilton Marine, which is a similar company, marine supplies here in Maine, and also has an online presence, and Inventec, which we love their boats. They have also known as life-proof boats. They're used by a lot of harbor masters and marine police, etc., around the country. And the cool thing about them is they're super unsinkable, and we love them. And they go really fast. I've been on one. It's so fun. Anyway, thank you to those sponsors. And then I want to get quickly this year's agenda. We have actually a topic for this year's Harbormaster Day event here that we want to cover. And that is a question that's come up quite a bit about what does it take to become a harbor master and do your job effectively. And so we're going to introduce all you guys, and then we'd love it. I'm going to go around quickly and introduce everybody, and then we're just go one by one and just get something about your background and, you know, the skills that you think are the most important for your harbor in doing your job. So I'm just quickly going to go around and introduce everybody. We have Scott Grindy, and you could just raise your hand when we're going around. It's from San Francisco, and thanks, Scott. And then we have Ryan Murray from Rockland, Maine. Hey, Ryan. And then we have August Kinjerski. Is that how I might pronounce your name, August? Yes, great. From Kewanee. Is that right, too? I'm getting used to this. Kewanee, yep. Wisconsin.
Kewanee, right? Wisconsin. Yep, correct.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We have August is our sole representative from the Great Lakes, and we're thrilled to have him with us. And then we have Paul Blank here from Newport Beach. Nice to meet you, Paul. Good to have you with us and joining us. And then we have Matt Creswell from Juneau, Alaska. We love our Alaskan harbor masters. They're a tight group, and Matt was here with us nicely last year, and we'd love to have him back again. I like that sign behind you, the Clean Harbors sign. Oh, and look, we've got just another Alaskan harbor master joining us right now. Hi, Layla.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good. Welcome to Harbormaster Day. And we're just doing introductions, so I'm just going to introduce you quickly too. Layla, and is it Jant Pedersen? Is that how you pronounce it?
Jant Peterson.
Jant Peterson, thanks. And Layla is the harbor master in Seldovia, Alaska also. So we're really thrilled to have you, Layla, with us too. So let's start out with you, Scott. Tell us a bit about your background, how you ended up in that, and what does it mean actually to be a harbor master in San Francisco?
Well, I think I'll start out, it sounds like an old movie story. I actually did not start in the harbor business. I was the director of facilities for University of Washington and the community college system before that, and then moved to the Port of Everett, managing the cargo port, the cargo terminal, where they were the third largest cargo terminal for Washington, as well as the marina there. And I also had the Homeland Security and all that kind of stuff. From there, moved to California, and here I am. So California is interesting. I won't say it's not challenging. It's a different way of boating. I'm used to the Northwest boating for recreational boating. And here there's a lot more pleasure craft. We're up there. You have a lot more cruisers where they're taking their, yachts or boats, and they're going for long distances up through to Alaska and back, and around the Northern Passage, etc. A lot more fishermen up there than there is here too. As far as what it takes to be here, a lot of patience and a lot of forward planning. I think that's the two biggest piece I see. Our two marinas here, we have an older one that's soon to be cleaned up and removed and replaced. We had a settlement with the PG&E company, which is the power company, from damages they did in the water here 100 years ago with contamination. So we settled for 190 million, and they will be rebuilding. Well, they're funding our rebuild of a new harbor there on the east side, because we're surrounded by two federal properties. One is Fort Mason and one is Crissy Field along the northern part of San Francisco. We are probably one of the craziest places to be in San Francisco for a site. Most of the harbors around here are pretty recreational, happy, don't do a lot of events. But we have, when it was non-COVID, probably 50% of every day of the year going on here, from Escape from Alcatraz, which is a couple thousand people jumping into the water from the Alcatraz area to come swimming across the bay. There's other smaller versions of that. We have triathlons, then we have all the sailing races, bike races. The list goes on, and we have to keep calendars that are overly exact, and we make a lot of money though off the permits. So it's a good thing for revenue from a recreational boating harbor to have a lot of revenue from a different source. A lot of our boaters are, I'll say, very high end in the sense of the billionaire types. And sometimes those are more challenging than our average person that has a boat that is a 21-foot fishing boat. So, it takes a lot of patience, like I said earlier, and a lot of forward planning for whatever goes on. But we always are having fun. I took off my Hawaiian shirt to be looking professional for today, but this is Hawaiian Shirt Friday for us. So, we try to have some happiness in our group, even though we're surrounded right now by Fleet Week's fencing, because our office is closed to the public for this week. And what I'm sitting in right now is what was a World War II Navy degaussing building. So the cables went across the bay for demagnetizing ships during World War II. And then after Vietnam, it just sat empty. No one ever did anything with it. So about 4 years ago, I said, let's see if we can make that into our new office. It sits right on the edge of the water. It's about 1,000 square feet, and we are now in it. And we're really happy with the view.
Sounds like a great place to be.
I can hear the stunt planes over us. I haven't heard the Blue Angels fly yet, because if I did, you would also hear them, because it literally drowns us out in the office.
Some of us are feeling envious that you've got Fleet Week going on.
We got sunshine too. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
Great. Thanks, Scott. Really appreciate that, sharing with us a bit more about San Francisco. It's very different from a lot of the communities where we, normally hear from. So it's great. And I'm dying to get out there and check it out. But I think I will try for Fleet Week. I think that sounds so fun.
And because I got to jump off here real quick for this activity that's here, could you shoot me a link for or email later and we'll get together on the other group so I can help you out?
That'd be great. Thank you. And thank you so
Okay.
much for all of your service to our harbors and to San Francisco Harbor. And
I wish you all well. I got to jump into another nest of problems. So
all right, take
okay,
care.
take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And I also, I noticed that Juana, hi Juana, I see you've joined us. Nice to see you.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Juana is here with us from New York City. She's at the 79th Street Boat Basin in New York City. So we'll get some great perspective from her. So Juana, we're just going around now and we're asking the harbor masters here presenting with us about how they got into the field of being a harbor master. And I was wondering, Ryan, do you want to go next while we're getting going here?
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Born and raised in Maine. I was a coastie right out of high school, so I served in the Coast Guard active duty. Been on the water all my life. I went into the sheriff's department after that. I was a sheriff's deputy for a couple of years. Decided I wanted to live in the sunshine, so I moved to sunny Hollywood, Florida, and I was a duty harbor master at Port Everglades. So one of the busiest cruise ports in the world, cargo ports. We did it all: cruise ships, cargo ships, petroleum vessels, everything. The opportunity presented itself to come back to Maine. Being in Florida during COVID made me realize I appreciated my my space, and it was time to come back home. And luckily, I was hired for the position. So my harbor is very unique here because we have a recreational, a commercial, as far as the lobster industry, as well as other marinas in the harbor. So it's kind of a all-purpose harbor. It's very unique.
That's cool, Ryan. So, and congratulations on, we're thrilled to have you. Rockland is actually our hometown, US Harbor's hometown. So we get to see Ryan in person every once in a while. And we had a thrilling adventure last week where he took us out.
You get nice boat rides.
We got out to the lighthouse, which is at the tip of a mile-long breakwater in Rockland, and we installed a new tide station out there, which was really, really exciting to get to the top of that lighthouse on the tippy top with the spiders and everything. Hey, Ryan, tell us a little bit about what you feel are the skills someone would need to be really effectively managing Rockport Harbor well. What skills do you think are most important?
Rockland.
Rockland, sorry, I live in Rockport.
Yeah, I'm the good harbor. So patience, like Scott mentioned, patience is a virtue. Luckily, I got that with being a sheriff's deputy and stuff, being able to deal with the public. I think one of the best qualities is being able to make someone who just lost an argument walk away, feel like they were winning is really my biggest thing this summer, at least. So even if they don't get their way, just to be able to be patient with them and talk to them, and it gets you a ways.
Great, thanks so much. So how about you, August? Do you want to tell us a bit about your background and how you got into being a harbor master and stuff? Oh, we can't hear you right now.
There we go. Hell no. How's
Good.
that?
Yeah.
I became the marina manager, campground, and boat launch manager. And after 6 months of that, the police department says we no longer want to be the harbor master. So then that came to be my problem.
Ah,
So that's how I became the harbor master. And they kind of like, well, read up on the ordinances and go from there. If you have any problems, take a picture, send it to the police department. We'll try to take care of it. So it's kind of like, where do I go and how do I start? So, and I kind of know some of the ideas and what you need to become, a safe harbor and stuff like that. But it's how do you get people to listen to you is kind of my hard learning curve, because most of them will look at me and say, who are you and how are you going to justify what I do if it's right or wrong? So that's kind of my hardship trying to learn to feel that out. So the more I can learn from you, I mean, you guys probably all been at, we're just a little port. Most of it's fishing industry. We have a river that runs into Lake Michigan, so we get people that fish off the lake or on board on shorelines, and they also do off the pier and into the lake. So little variety of everybody. Just a mixture. So just trying to jump on board. I got not too much learn, but it's the curve from everybody else that hopefully I can get a handle on some of these new ideas and how to become even more safer for the harbor. So.
That's great. And I do want to mention to all of you that are on this call, all of you presenters, that August actually submitted a question to us. It's a really important question. And that is, and we would love when you're speaking for you to maybe just speak a little bit about this. And then, that question is, what exactly can and should a harbor master enforce? It's a really challenging issue, obviously, and I think this is a great forum to hear some answers for that. And Paul, I see you smiling. I think we'll go to you next and hear a little bit about your background and thoughts on this.
Oh, geez. It's been a challenging week here in beautiful Newport Harbor, California. As you may or may not know, there's this large oil spill that took place last weekend, and we are still recovering from that. In fact, the harbor entrance here in Newport has been closed until just about 10 minutes ago. And I turned my camera off for just a moment to take a phone call from the mayor, who is reporting in that the first boat has actually exited the harbor after that entrance has been soft. The entrance closure has been soft lifted. We're probably not going to let anybody in until after midnight tonight, but we can at least let some of the folks that were here trapped out and allow them to head back to their own harbor. I love that question on, what are we here to enforce? And I'll get back to that in just a moment. The very quick story of Paul and how he ended up in this job is I learned how to sail through a recreational program here in Newport Harbor when I was a little kid, and that was about 150 years ago when we rode our dinosaurs to the sailing base. I developed a lifelong love of sailing and especially racing. I've raced all over the world, including all of your harbors and many international harbors. I ended up coming back to Newport, as was my home while I was pursuing a professional career in high tech, and ended up a volunteer appointee on the City of Newport Beach Harbor Commission. So I ended up a harbor commissioner through no fault of my own, served with great satisfaction and joy for the 8 years that I was allowed to serve. Completely unexpectedly, about a year after that, my predecessor as the harbor master, who I was complicit in hiring, decided to take an early retirement. And the city leadership called me and said, we think you would be good at this job. And I told them they were crazy. And then 24 hours later, somebody else really important to me and influential in my career and life called and said, no, you really should read the job description that you wrote, and you should take this job. So I'm the new guy here. I just started in May, and it's been a bit of a whirlwind trying to get on top of it all. Oh, and then there was this oil spill. So that's what that's how my week has gone. The very quick answer to what should we be enforcing? And the answer is, in my harbor, and this is unique to my harbor, but I can imagine there's applicability everywhere. The local municipal ordinances, which cover things like noise and just enjoyment of life, nuisance issues, that's our top priority for enforcing. But we are actually the authority responsible for all the county, state, and federal ordinances that are within our jurisdiction. And that includes, for us, the California Coastal Commission. So the California Coastal Commission governs development, all the piers, structures, floats, all that kind of stuff. And they don't have enough arms and legs to actually patrol their own permits. So we actually do that for them.
Wow. So that's interesting. And you must have Marine police that you're working with too, also down there, do you?
Absolutely. There's strong cooperation between The city of Newport Beach and the Orange County Sheriff's Harbor Department. I've been on the phone with them multiple times this week. Standing outside my office until just moments ago were representatives of the Coast Guard that are helping with the spill response. My facility is being used as the decontamination site for Newport Harbor and basically for everything out that's out around 20 miles. So yes, there's good coordination and good cooperation around here, and many agencies involved. Fish and Wildlife is also so.
Wow, we really feel for you. I'm so sorry about that oil spill, and we are so glad that you are so capable in that place to help take care of it.
Rumors of my efficacy are much exaggerated.
Well, it's a big issue and takes a lot of cooperation, of course, from a lot of different people. But yeah, what a trial! That's really a trial. So hang tight. I hope it gets resolved quickly, and we really appreciate you coming by today, and I'm super glad to meet you, since this is our first time really meeting you and getting to know you, and Newport Beach too. So that's really great. All right, Juana Garcia from New York City. Hi, Juana. I had the pleasure of interviewing Juana a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. Time is flying by quickly. And really, you have such a great background, Juana. Can you tell everybody how you got into being, you're not actually called a harbor master, but you do most of the things a harbor master does, because New York is so complicated, obviously, that, you know, somebody in a small town being a harbor master has a certain set of responsibilities. You basically have that same set of responsibilities, but in that huge port city. So tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are.
Well, I'm from New York City. I grew up in Brooklyn and nowhere near the water. So I didn't have any clue what, the waterways or any maritime background until I went to Harbor School, which is a high school based, maritime based high school. And after that, it just opened, my doors worldwide for knowing so much about the water, between testing them, doing scuba diving, we also were involved in the oyster project, which is, restoring the oysters and trying to keep, build the water to be more cleaner, and testing and boating experiencing anything from mechanical all the way to being the captain of the boat. After that, I did some time in Kingsborough Community College in the maritime program. And then shortly after that, I started working for one of the ferry companies called the Water Taxi. Everybody knows the big yellow boat with the checkers on the bottom. So I worked with the company for about 15 years. And then I wanted to venture out, and then there was the position at the Parks Department open for supervising dock master, and so I applied, and that's how I ended up working as a supervising dock master at the 79th Street Boat Basin. We're located pretty much at the center of Manhattan, close to pretty much everywhere. So we're very, well known for people to come here. We're also very affordable in terms of, we do commercial, transient. We have transient mooring balls. We have, there's so much, we do here, and we have people that actually live on their boats at the marina as well. So pretty much, and we communicate, there's several marinas around the city. So basically we all work with the Coast Guard to, inform more if anything needs to be, enforced. Like that's who we have good communication between Coast Guard, FDNY, and NYPD. And I'm working. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
That's great. We'll let Juana take our call. Hey, Matt, you want to tell us a little bit about your background and how your thoughts on enforcement?
Hey, certainly, absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. Matt Crussell, I'm the harbor master out here in great city of Juneau. Like Ryan, I too was also a coastie. I retired in 2015. And after growing up on the East Coast and finally making it out here to Alaska, where my last tour was, I decided it's where I belonged, and kind of fell into this position. It was a great place. We wanted to stay and raise our kids here. So I started out in early 2016 supervising the Port of Juneau, which is in our department, and we're a busiest cruise ship port of call in the state of Alaska, really on the West Coast for numbers. So we see about, in a normal year, a little over 1.5 million passengers come off the cruise ship into Juneau. And year or so into that, I was promoted to deputy harbor master, and then almost 2 years ago, I was promoted to harbor master. In the words of my predecessor, I have the best job in the world. I absolutely do. There is no 2 days like each other. We're a big department. We stretch from 70 miles from end to end, about 1,250 slips spread out between 5 different boat harbors and cruise ship docks. And we've got lots of upland leases we manage and boat yards and everything else. Our client base is, I mean, we've got a 200 plus boat commercial fishing fleet. We deal with 350-foot mega yachts through the summer, right down to, lunch skips. We have everything you could ever imagine. And it's in Alaska, where take everything you know about boating in the lower 48 and throw it out the window just about. I mean, this time last week, right up here on the hill above the office, we were experiencing 138 knot gusts. It's a category 4 or 5 hurricane down south. It's a Friday in Juneau. So everything, everything we have has to be built to withstand that stuff. We do all of our construction up here in the middle of the winter because we can't take the revenue loss in the summer. So it's a really interesting place to be. I love my job. I love my crew. I've got an amazing staff that makes everything happen. I just kind of move the chess pieces around and help them get to their goal. But my motto is find a way to yes, and that's the biggest way to be successful as a harbor master in my mind, is find a way to give the customer what they need and what they want. It's not always exactly how they phrased it as wanting it, but if you can work around to a yes, you'll be successful in the job. We have our own set of regulations within our department, and it's a struggle to decide what's enforceable, what's not. Are you going to enforce it across the board equally? Do you have the staff to do it? What's the end goal by enforcing the regulation versus just most of the time education is the way to go for us. And we do write a lot of tickets, but it's not our first choice in anything we do. Generally, by a quick conversation, a little education, we get to the end goal of people being in compliance. Our big push right now is blackwater disposal. We finally got 6 working year-round pump out stations in our harbors, which is a big deal because lots of things up here get shut off in the winter because of the cold, but through CDA grants and new construction and everything else, we can finally dispose of sewage year round in all of our harbor basins. And we are about to embark on a really large project to starting with a liveaboard population, which is about 25% of our boats, getting everybody in compliance with MSDs and proper sewage disposal. So we got our work cut out for us over the winter. But we do have a regulation relating to that, and there are penalties for not being in compliance. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to figure out how to enforce and what's the best way to go about that. But it's the right thing to do, so that's what we're going to do.
Wow, that sounds like things are very, very different up there. Like, yeah, and I'm sure that Blackwater issue is true everywhere to some extent. But I'm curious about the liveaboards. Is that community growing up there, or are they there year round, or what happens with that?
They are, and our liveaboard population is it's kind of half and half. We've got probably half of our liveaboard population are living on boats that were designed, big, nice boats that can support a liveaboard real well. And then we've got the boats that continually sell for $1 and are basically crash pads. And so that's probably half of our liveaboard population. And that's the part that's tough to manage. And that's what we got to figure out how to do better.
Yeah. Well, it is great to hear from you. And I know I want to actually show you somebody else that's here in my office, or my office. I'm taking over your office,
My
Kathy.
office. I've been running around.
We have Kathy
Hi, everyone.
Gibbon. Kathy is Harbormaster here in Belfast, Maine. And Kathy, you've been here 28 years.
Yep.
28 years. So congratulations to Kathy for like being an awesome Harbormaster here in Belfast. And we're going to wish you a happy Harbormaster Day too.
Thank you. And to everybody else too, I agree. It's an awesome job and I don't think I'd trade it for anything, but it is challenging. Part of what I like about it. So.
Great. Well, thanks, Kathy. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining,
good
and
to
thank
see
you
you
for
all.
letting me crash here. Juana, we want to get back to you quickly. You're back in with us, just to hear a little bit more about the issues that you have to enforce and how it works in New York City, and what you think about the skills you need to do that, where you are.
Is that for me? I'm sorry. I'm
Yes,
kind of in and
yeah,
out.
yeah. Did you hear what I was saying, or should I repeat it?
Actually, can you give me a few more minutes?
Yeah, I
A
can.
very
Yep.
busy day here.
We'll
All
go
right,
to Layla.
Thank you.
Hey, Layla. So Layla's from Seldovia, and I would love to hear more about what you're doing up in Seldovia, Layla, your background and your thoughts about enforcement. I don't know, Layla's muted right now. I don't know if she's right there. Unmute. Anyway, I want to, while we're waiting for Juana to get free and for Layla to rejoin the unmuting or unmute, I wanted to say that a couple of other things that we're going to do on this call is to announce the winners of our raffle results, and also to let you all know, and of course you guys for sure should let us know if you need some more hats from us. We are sending out free U.S. Harbors caps to any harbor masters that would like them. So we just need emails, your email address, name, and your harbor and a mailing address to send those hats to. So if you're interested, of course, you panelists should definitely let us know. But if there are any other harbor masters out there that you think might enjoy getting a thank you gift from us, we're really happy to send it to us. So just send us their names and we can do that. And let's see, we might as well take this time right now, Alicia, to talk about the, why don't you just tell us when you're ready? To talk about the raffles, the giveaways that we've been doing.
I'm ready. Okay. Hello. Happy Harbormaster Day, everyone. Thanks for joining. So I have the following folks. We have the PFD for him, and his Harbormaster goes to Jeff Ignazak from Instagram. So I'll be contacting him. We do have the gift card is going to go to Instagram user Ocean Meets Forest. She's definitely a fan of the shore. We have 3 shirts, which are from U.S. harbors, but they will be customized to the harbor of the winner's choice for them. We have from Facebook, Tina Schaffery Riddell. We have from the website, Jonathan Knight. And then also an entrant on the website was Roberta Bobby Gurney. So I'll be contacting all 5 of those winners. And then I did also just want to shout out the Harbormaster from Nishinomiya, Japan. Nishinomiya, Japan was probably the furthest flung Harbormaster that we heard from during this whole thing.
That is so awesome. Yeah. So we've been thinking about putting together on U.S. harbors on our Harbormaster Day site a place where harbor masters can come in like you, August, and when you have a question, and maybe just have a forum to answer it, because we've discovered that while there are some associations for harbor masters, they're kind of piecemeal here and there, and so there's not really any great place where people can just go ask questions and get feedback on the job. So we're thinking about putting that together. If you have ideas about that or suggestions, we'd love it if you could shoot us some emails and let us know your thoughts about that. And also just a plug for the t-shirts. These t-shirts, we're making them customized for your harbor. So it just got a chart, a nautical chart, the NOAA nautical chart of your harbor and the name of your harbor on the back of it. So they're pretty cool. So Juana, are you available now, or should we let
No.
you head out?
I'm available now. I do apologize. I am so
No
sorry.
problem. It's in the middle of the day still. So the question that we were asking is what exactly can and should harbor masters enforce? And we're just curious to hear what that's like in New York City.
Well, for us, I think we're kind of full sometimes with some of the masters everywhere. Just, make sure that, there's no black water, just, very important, no, no disposal of any garbage that can go in the water. Make sure that the bilges are not leaking into the water as well, because then you have oil and fuel being disposed to the water. And I believe just making sure that anything that comes into our marina, it's not doesn't bring up a red flag. In terms of enforcement, there's different types. It's just like, weather-wise, it's like we can only tell, our customers, like, we're about to have bad weather, and make sure, you're on your boat, make sure you put lines, or make sure you're not on your boat. There have been times like I believe during Sandy, where we had no choice but to make everyone leave their boats, because it was just not safe conditions during that time. So we do enforce that even if they don't want to leave, they they're either they have to for their own safety.
Yeah, I can imagine that becomes a real challenge out there. So yeah, I don't know about the rest of you, but where Juana's located, they have incredible currents too. And so anybody cruising into New York Harbor who hasn't dealt with big river currents is going to get a big surprise there if they're not experienced with that. So all right, you guys, well, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody on the call have any questions, or anybody in the audience have any questions that they want to ask the crew here? All right. Well, we're going to be posting this on our YouTube channel and sharing it out with people. People have a lot of interest in you guys, and there was a lot of coverage of Harbor Master Day. I hope your communities reached out to thank you, but if they didn't, let us say from US Harbors that we are so grateful for everything you guys do and for your commitment to our harbors and our boating communities, and also to just commitment to our overall health and well-being of our coasts. And a thank you again, and a happy Harbor Master Appreciation Day. And thank you again once more to our sponsors, Fisheries Supply, Hamilton Marine, and Inventec Boats. Please keep in touch, and we will look forward to seeing you all hopefully next year. And please also let us know if there's anything that's happening in your harbors. We communicate with a huge audience around the country, and likely quite a big group in your harbors. So let us know if there's anything happening that we should be communicating out to our users. Thanks all, and have a great rest of your days. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.